Good afternoon. I'm Marian Alonso. I'm a nutritionist and a dietitian and a specialist in food technology. Today, we're going to talk a bit more about the products in the pack Get Burning. These are Chitocarb, the product Burn, Essential Fatty Acid Complex, and the product ProTF. Now, this is a time of year where weight loss is something we're all worried about. Some people want to lose weight. Some people want to gain weight, which is often very difficult. And there are people who want to maintain their weight. And it's cost them blood, sweat, and tears, and they really don't want to lose this crucial balance. Now, traditionally, we've always been concerned about weight. It's an aesthetic thing, how our clothes are going to fit us, what other people are going to think about us, how we feel about ourselves, what we look like in photos. But for a number of years, health has been increasingly important as a factor of maintaining a good weight. And now what we saw during the COVID crisis is that people who are overweight recovered worse and suffered COVID worse. And there's been a number of studies and articles about excess weight and immune system problems. There are people who, because they're overweight, have problems with their joints. They get more tired. It's not just the traditional problems related to cardiovascular disease and diabetes. There are other things as well that are very much affected by our weight. And weight also affects our mood a lot. Because if we don't feel good about ourselves, we can't put on the clothes we want to wear, or we don't like the way we look in photos. Yeah, this does have an impact on our mood. So we have to work on our health, on our emotional well-being. But we have to have a good general health. Now, we don't want to lose weight and in doing so be unhealthy. We definitely want to avoid that. We need to take care of ourselves. That's the number one thing. So let's talk about weight. Now, is body weight the same as body composition? Well, absolutely not. Your weight is something very variable. It can change from the morning to the afternoon. It can be different at night. It also depends on our hormones, which affects our mood as well. So our weight is something important, but we have to be careful because our weight changes even during the course of a single day. Now, our body composition gives us more details, and that's something more stable because the composition of our bodies is made up of a number of things. So, on the one hand, we've got lean mass, we've got muscle mass, we've got our bones, and then we've got a certain amount of water. Now, when it comes to health, it's important that these different compositions in our body are well balanced and that we have an amount of fat mass and lean mass that are balanced. Now, what's important to general health is to have the right percentage of fat mass, to not have too much. And our lean mass, which is our muscle mass, has to be at the right level because that's very important for our healthy balance. Now, how can we know if our body composition is right? Well, there are things that can tell us our body composition, we can go to get a bioimpedance study with a professional. There are also instruments, bioimpedance instruments, that give us more information on the different parts of our bodies and percentages of fat and percentages of muscle, water. And we can have them at home. And these instruments help us. And this is something we can do, as I said, at home, and they give us information. They're not perfect, but they give us some information. And then we can have skin fold tests. And a professional can help us by taking measurements of our skin folds so that we can see the percentage of different compositions, so fat, muscle, water. So if you want to get an idea of our body composition, we can have a bioimpedance instrument at home, but it's important to know that these instruments are not perfect, they're variable. But they can give us some idea of how we are, not just in terms of our weight, but in terms of our fat content. Now, as I said, weight is very variable, so we shouldn't get too obsessed with rising and falling of our weight, because if I weight in the morning and then I weigh myself in the evening and there's a difference of 1.5 kilos, well, maybe we might get worried then. Now, volume does give us more useful information. Now, if we want to lose weight, if we see that our trousers are too big for us, that we've gone down a size, that gives us more useful information, because that does tell us about the amount of fat that we've lost. If we lose weight or gain weight from one day to the next, or even, during the day, well, maybe we're not losing fat, which is what we want to do. We might be losing liquids, we might be losing water, which is an easier way of losing weight. So our weight can give us an indication that we're losing fat, but it's also possible that there might be other things we're losing, such as water and muscle mass, which we don't want to lose. On the other hand, volume does give us a better idea that we're losing fat, which is what we want to do. So we can trust better, when our trousers get too big for us, than when we've lost a bit of weight. Okay, so what do we need to take into account when we want to lose weight or maintain our weight? Well, there are various different things. On the one hand, there's the energy balance, a balance between what we eat and what we burn and what we use to exercise. And then there are glucose levels. Glucose levels provide a stable appetite. We'll talk more about that later. And that's related to appetite and satiety, being satiated. Sometimes we want to eat a lot at a certain time. We need to control our appetite. Another very important thing is how we absorb, how we metabolize our fat. So let's look at all of these aspects and relate them to the various different products in the package we're looking at today. So energy balance, a balance between what we eat and what we use. Now, if we eat a lot and we don't use these calories, well, it's normal that we'll put on weight. If we eat little and we use a lot of calories, and that can happen because we're ill, perhaps, when we just completely lose our appetite. And so we might lose weight because we're eating less than what our body is using. And then balance, which can be difficult, is what allows us to have a more balanced, healthy weight. And as I said, sometimes you can be ill. There can also be problems with the thyroid gland. And these problems can upset that balance. But our weight usually tells us whether we're burning the same amount as that we're consuming. And so it's quite reliable. That there's this relationship between what we burn and what we consume. Now, when it comes to consumption, it's not just enough to eat well. Now, eating well is absolutely essential, but another important aspect is doing exercise. Because sometimes we insist that we're going to eat very little, we're going to restrict our calories, but we don't lose weight. And that's because the body gets to a point where it just starts saving energy if we're not giving it any energy. So physical exercise is really important. Not just aerobic exercise like running or going on a walk in the mountains or playing a game of tennis or paddle. What's also very, very important is resistance exercise, strength exercise. These are becoming increasingly important. It doesn't just allow us to lose weight, it has a lot of benefits. So it could be lifting weights, it could be calisthenics, where we use our own body weight, which is a very good way of working on strength. Now, excess weight is something gradual. We gain kilos over a relatively long period of time. Now, if we eat a little bit more than what we should be eating, for example, 1,000 calories, sorry, 100 calories. Let's say every day we consume 100 calories more than we really need. Perhaps it's a yogurt or we have 100 calories more than we actually need. 100 calories more than we burn. And so it takes 100 calories today, 100 calories tomorrow, and after a month, that's 3,000 calories more than we need. That's 100 multiplied by 30, 3,000 calories. If we do that over a whole year, that's a huge number of calories. And all of these calories, in the end, become kilos of fat. So this 100 calories per day that's going to turn into about 5 kilos of fat, which is worrying. And so if you want to lose weight, well, adding weight is taking a long time, so we can't expect that we're going to lose that weight from one day to the next. And so it's a gradual process, day by day, in which we ensure a healthy balance of our body composition. So let's talk about the benefits of this pack. What does it aim to do? Well, on the first place, to compensate diet excesses in the diet. So ProTF is going to help us in that respect. It's also going to help us to absorb sugars and fats. So it's about metabolism. Other products such as Burn in this body composition, and the product is going to strengthen our diet, and others are going to support our immune system. So let's start with this first objective, compensating excess food. So let's look at ProTF. What's the benefit of this product? How does it help us with our body composition, or how does it help us to lose weight? Well, ProTF has a high protein content. And that helps to reinforce our diet, but also helps us to feel sated. We feel sated during the day, and so we can use ProTF, we can make a shake before our meals, and that helps us to feel sated beforehand, before we start eating our lunch or our dinner. Also, this protein helps to strengthen this muscle mass so that when we want to lose weight, we want to lose calories, sometimes by removing nutrients, we can also be missing out on certain proteins that are very important biologically. So what ProTF does is that ensures that we get these proteins so that when we want to lose weight and we eat less, we don't lose certain important proteins. And on this table, you can see the benefits of ProTF. It's hydrolyzed protein. In other words, its molecular structure makes it very easy to assimilate. And it also has essential amino acids. And here you can see the aminogram broken down into amino acids, the number of chains, and the essential nutrients that it's going to provide us, to provide biologically important proteins, proteins that the body needs to be properly balanced in its protein metabolism. And there's another very interesting benefit of this product, and that it contains very little sugar. So it gives us good nutrients, but it doesn't give us nutrients that aren't good for us, such as sugar and fat. So this product gives us high quality protein and very little sugar, and also very little fat. And all of this is reinforced by a transfer factor formula, which also is good for the immune system. So why should we take ProTF if we want to control our body composition? One of the most important things is to make us feel sated, to have this feeling of satisfaction. You know, sometimes we have a lot of appetite, we want to eat, and having these shakes allows us to reduce this appetite, so we feel sated beforehand, and our brain has a sense of being sated as early as possible. On the other hand, it reinforces the muscle mass, which can be undermined when people lose weight too quickly. So when should we take this product? Well, we should take it before our meals. So we have a preparation of ProTF in water, and we take it a little bit before eating to feel sated. But we're also going to be able to take ProTF mixed with other food, such as fruit, nuts, and we can also have very complete food, both in breakfast, a very full breakfast, and for dinner, we have something lighter. So if we're going to go to bed very soon and we don't have time to digest it, we can have something, for dinner. So we can have it before a meal to fill part of our stomach before the meal, and so we can send this message of being sated to the brain. Or, on the other hand, we can have it as a part of a meal, but also reinforced with nuts or fruit, or mixed with a bit of milk. Now there's the second factor. The first one is about compensating for food. the other issue is how we can have an impact on the absorption of sugars and fat. Now, the metabolizing sugar and fat is very much related to our body composition. So on the one hand, as we metabolize, digest sugars, that provides us, that affects our appetite in different ways. So when we eat, glucose, which is very much related to carbohydrates, affects our level of appetite. Now, the way we metabolize fat is very important so that this fat doesn't accumulate too much. So we have to work on both of these aspects to metabolize carbohydrates and to metabolize fat. Now, sometimes we have large meals, we eat too much. That's often what decompensates us. And so we need to find a daily balance. But very often, they're celebrating something, there's a meal, there's some kind of event, and we eat more than we need. And so sometimes we need to compensate for this balance, or compensate this imbalance that we have during the week of fats and sugars. So there's this product, Cheeto Carb, and its ingredients help us to strengthen this metabolism of fats and sugars. So we have keto sano, we have white beans, we also have other ingredients such as yeast extract and pitaya extract. And they help us from when we eat too much. So we take this 30 minutes before a large meal, and we take between 3 and 6 capsules, half an hour before eating a large meal. So we can prepare our body for this large intake of sugar and fat. We know that we're going to eat a bit too much, and so, well, half an hour beforehand, we take this so that we metabolize the fats and sugars well. And so this is specifically targeted for those times when we know that we're going to eat a little bit too much. So Cheeto Carb helps to compensate these excesses. And then we have the product Burn, which is related to the metabolizing fat. Now, if you want to lose weight, that's great, but we don't want to lose weight by undermining our muscle mass, because we need to keep muscle mass. It's very important to have good muscle mass. Now, what we need to do is to reduce the percentage of body fat. And so these are what we call thermogenetic. They're involved in energy metabolism. That's what I was talking about before when it came to this balance. And they're involved in metabolizing fats. That's what this product is for. Now, because I'm going to make this effort, I'm going to increase the energy that I burn. And so this complement, what it does is it gives a bit of a boost to help us burn the fat. So citric fruits, it contains coleus, proscoli, African mango. And this is always important to accompany it with a balanced diet, exercise, and the support of this complement. In this case, to boost the metabolism of fat, burning fat. That's why it's called Burn. And then there's something else we mustn't forget, that when we want to control our weight and our body composition, we have to make sure that we get all the essential nutrients we need. Sometimes we do things that are crazy. We stop eating all of this or stop eating all of that and thinking that, yeah, well, that's how I'm going to lose weight. And we just think about fat or just think about sugar, but we have to remember that we have to get all of our daily nutrients. So we need all of our essential nutrients. Now, there are a lot of nutrients that we need. We should always have them in our diet. And two things that are very important are, one thing that's very important are essential fatty acids. So this product, it's called essential fatty acid complex, and that includes omega-3 and omega-6. And that comes from fish oil, flax seeds, borraja, and cardamom. Our fat metabolism really needs to be maintained alongside an ingest of essential fatty acids. We do need to maintain these intake of fatty acids. So this is a good reinforcement so that we don't miss out on it and we're always covered in obtaining those fats. So what other products can reinforce this, this diet? And what do we need to ensure that we do well when we want to lose weight? Well, we also, apart from the part we've already talked about, we need to cover other vitamins, other minerals. And it's also good to reinforce our microbiota. I was saying at the beginning how microbiota and people who are overweight, that there's often an imbalance, and the change in the microbiota can affect our weight. And so we've got two products that relate to that. They reinforce our nutrients. On the one hand, Right Start, which is vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, vegetable extracts, and then Prio, which contains probiotics and oligosaccharides, which act on the microbiota and reinforce our digestive system. We talked about appetite, fat metabolism, sugars, feeling sated, and also weight loss. The weight loss has a definite impact on the immune system. Now, we need to take all of our basic nutrients. If we don't, our immune system will be affected. That's why we need the Forward Life complements. We really need to reinforce and support our bodies in this process of weight loss. So you can structure this in terms of why, when, and how. How do you take it? When do you take these products? Well, they come from plant extracts that are going to affect the fat metabolism, and combined with exercise and healthy diet. How should we take it? Well, 2 capsules a day. Now, it's very important to accompany it with exercise. If you can take a little bit before the exercise, that's better. ProTF, they have a high biological value, low amounts of fat and sugar, and they aim to reinforce muscle mass. And we can take them before a meal to control our appetite, but we can also take them before and after exercise to reinforce muscle mass. We can take 1 dose dissolved in water according to the amount of exercise that we do. Essential fatty acid, well, that reinforces the metabolism of fats. We take 2 capsules a day alongside the main meals. And then there's cetocarb, which is for those moments when we know that we're going to eat a lot and we want to compensate that, when we know we're going to intake a lot of fat and sugar. And, you know, it's nice to eat with people and to go out, but it's also important then to counteract that. and balance things. So we can take 3 to 6 capsules, half an hour before these large meals. We mustn't forget the 4 pillars of the healthy lifestyle, which is eating well, fruit, vegetables, a balanced diet with not too many sugars and fats. And then we need to do exercise, be out in the fresh air, sleep as well, which is very important in controlling weight. And we also need to have a positive attitude and enthusiasm, which we should have in everything that we do. So strengthen your healthy lifestyle with For Life. And I hope this pack, this wonderful pack, can help us in that respect. Thank you very much.